Hello guys, today I'm gonna continue reading the book. I'm outside again. So last time I left at the page 153 and I'm gonna continue from Montag listened. Beatty struck him a blow on the head that sent him reeling back. The green bullet in which Faber's voice whispered and cried fell to the sidewalk. Beatty snatched it up, grinning. He held it half in, half out of his ear. Montag heard the distant voice calling, "Montag, you all right?" Beatty switched the green bullet off and thrust it in his pocket. "Well, there's more here than I thought. I saw you tilt your head, listening. First I thought you had a seashell, but when you turned clever later, I wondered. We'll trace this and drop it on your friend." "No," said Montag. He twitched the safety catch on the flamethrower. Beatty glanced instantly at Montag's fingers, and his eyes widened and faintest bit. Montag saw the surprise there, and himself glanced to his hands to see what new thing they had done. Thinking back later that he could never decide whether the hands or Beatty's reaction to the hands gave him the final push toward murder. The last rolling thunder of avalanche stoned down about his ears, not touching him. Beatty grinned his most charming grin. "Well, that's one way to get an audience. Hold a gun on a man and force him to listen to your speech. Speech away. What will it be this time? Why don't you pledge Shakespeare at me, you fumbling snob? There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I'm armed, you strong, in honesty that they passed by me and as an idle wind, which I respect not. How's that? Go ahead now, you second-hand literature. Pull the trigger." He took one step toward Montag. Montag only said, "We never burned right." "Hand it over, guy," said Beatty with a fixed smile. And then he was shrieking blades, jumping, sprawling, gibbering, mannequin, no longer human or known. All within flame on the lawn as Montag shot one continuous pulse of liquid fire on him. There was a hiss, like a great mouthful of spittle burning a red-hot stove, and bubbling and frothing as if salt had been poured over a monstrous black snail because of terrible liquefaction, and a boiling over a yellow foam. Montag shut his eyes, shouted and fought to get his hands at his ears to clamp and to cut away the sound. Beatty flopped over and over, and at last twisted in on himself like a charred wax doll and lay silent. Well, I'm gonna check where do I read until. Okay. The other two firemen did not move. Montag kept his sickness down long enough to aim the flamethrower. Turn around. They turned, their faces like blanched meat, streaming sweet. He beat their hands, knocking off their helmets and bringing them down on themselves. They fell and lay without moving, the blowing of single autumn leaf. He turned and the mechanical hound was there. It was half across the lawn, coming from the shadows, moving with such drifting ease that it was like a single solid cloud of black-gray smoke blowing at him in silence. It made its single last to leap into the air, coming down at Montag from a good 3 feet over his head, its spider leg reaching, the procaine needle snapping out its single angry tooth. Montag caught it with a bloom on fire, a single wondrous blossom that curled in the petals of yellow and blue and orange about the metal dog, clad it in a new covering as it slammed into Montag's, threw him 10 feet back against the bole of a tree. Taking the flame gun with him, he felt it scrabble and seized his leg and stabbed the needle in for a moment before the fire snapped the hound up in the air, burst its metal bones at the joints, and blew out its interior in a single flushing and red color like a skyrocket fastened to the street. Montag lay watching the dead live thing fiddle in the air and die. Even now it seemed to want to get back at him and finish the injection, which was now working through the flesh of his leg. He felt all of his mingled relief and horror at having pulled back only in time to have just his knee slammed by the fender get up, afraid he might not be able to gain his feet at all. With an anesthetist leg, a numbness, and in a numbness hollowed into a numbness. And now, the street empty, the house burned like an ancient bit of stage scenery, the other homes dark, the hound there, Beatty there, the 2 other firemen, another place, and the salamander. He gazed at the immense engine. That would have to go too. Well, he thought, let's see how badly off you are. On your feet now, easy, there. He stood and he had only one leg. The other was like a chunk of burned pine log. Was there carrying along as a penance for some obscure sin. When he put his weight on it, a shower of silver needles gushed up of the length of the cuff and went off in the knee. He wept, come on, you can't stay here. My back hurts so much. A few house lights were going on again down the street, whether from the incidents just past or because of the abnormal silence following the fight. Montag did not know. He hobbled, talking to the runes, seizing at his bad leg when it lagged, talking and whimpering and shouting directions at it and cursing it and bleeding with it to work for him now when it was vital. He heard a number of people crying out in the darkness and shouting. He reached the backyard and the alley. Beatty, he thought, you're not a problem now. You always said, don't face a problem, burn it. Well, now I've done both. Goodbye, Captain. And he stumbled along the alley in the dark. A shotgun blazed went off in his leg every time he put it down and he thought, you're a fool, a damn fool, an awful fool, an idiot, an awful idiot, a damn idiot, and a fool, a damn fool. Look at the mess, and where's the mop? Look at the mess, and what do you do? Pride, damn it, and the temper, and you've junked it up. At the very start, you vomit on everyone, on yourself, but everything at once, but everything one on top of another. Beatty, the woman, Mildred, Clarice, everything. No excuse, though, no excuse. A fool, a damn fool. Go give yourself up. Now we've saved what we can. We'll do that. We'll do what there's left to do. If we have to burn, let's take a few more with us here. Jesus. He remembered the books and turned back just on the off chance. He found a few books where he had left them, near the garden fence. Mildred, God bless her, he missed a few. 4 books still lay hidden where he had put them. Voices were wailing in the night, and flash beams swirled about. Other salamanders were rowing their engines far away, and police cars were cutting their way across town with their sirens. Montag took the 4 remaining books and hopped his way down the alley, and suddenly felt as if his head had been cut off, and only his body lay there. Something inside him jerked him to a halt and flopped him down. He lay where he had fallen and sobbed, his leg folded, his face pressed blindly to the gravel. Beatty wanted to die. In the middle of the crying, Montag knew it for the truth. Beatty had wanted to die. He had just stood there, not really trying to save himself, just stood there, joking, needling, thought Montag. And the thought was enough to stifle his sobbing and let him pause for air. How strange, to want to die so much that you let a man walk around armed, and then instead of shutting up and staying alive, you go on yelling at people and making fun of them until you get them mad, and then, at a distance, running feet. I'm gonna drink a bit of water. Alright, I continue. Montag sat up. Let's get out of here. Come on, get up. You just ain't sit. You just can't sit. But he was still crying. That had to be finished. It was going away now. He hadn't wanted to kill anyone, but not even Beatty. His flesh gripped him and shrank as if it had been plugged in acid. He gazed. He saw Beatty, a torch, not moving, fluttered out on the grass. He bit at his necklace. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm sorry. He tried to piece it all together, go back to the normal pattern of a life a few short days ago before the sea and the sand. Denham's dentifrice, moth voices, fireflies, and the alarm and excursions. Too much for a few short days. Too much indeed for a lifetime. Feet run in the far end of the alley. Get up, he told himself. Damn it, get up, he said to the leg, and stood. The pains were spiked driven in the kneecap, and then only darkening needles, and then only common, ordinary safety pins. And after he had dragged along 50 more hops and jumps, filling his hand with slivers from the board fence, the pickling was like someone blowing a spray of scalding water on that leg, and the leg was at last his own leg again. He had been afraid that running might break the loose ankle. Now, sucking all the night into his open mouth, and blowing it out pale, with all the blackness left heavily inside himself. He set out in a steady jogging pace. He carried the books in his hand. He thought of Faber. Faber was back there in the steaming lump of tar that had no name or identity now. He had burned Faber too. He felt so suddenly shocked by this that he felt Faber was really dead, baking like a roach in that small green capsule shoved and lost in the pocket of man who was now nothing but a skeleton strung with asphalt tendons. You must remember, burn them or they'll burn you, he thought. Right now, it's as simple as that. He searched his pocket. The money was there, and in his other pocket he found that usual seashell upon which the city was talking to itself in a cold black morning. Okay, I'm gonna read until here 160. So next time I will continue. So that's for today. If you like my reading, please consider subscribing, and hope you guys have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.